You've been busy. You've managed to use this period to be creative and productive.
Yeah. I've been really, really lucky. All of my close friends are people I collaborate with all the time anyway. So doing like quarantine shoots was easy and great. Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of quarantine shoots, still, I know you all your YouTube stuff and all your great videos, but I'm going to start with this video for Run. Just how you
Okay.
even pulled this off during quarantine. This thing's so amazing and so striking. Just talk about putting that together. First of all, it's a great song. We can talk about that in a second. But just talk about the production of this video and how much fun that was for you to put together.
It was actually really interesting because when we were talking about the concept of the video, we were like, okay, we want it to be an open space because it's going to be limited crew. It's the pandemic. We don't want anyone to feel like they're confined. It has to be just me in terms of talent. Ideally, we would shoot outside. So the director, Auden Bowie, actually was like, what if we like internalize, pick all your inner demons and externalize them? We can be in the desert, we can be in a big warehouse, and so it's just you, minimize risk, everyone can be spaced out. And I loved it. And so actually, like Manzi DeYoung, who made the costumes, made them remotely, and then just made them in such a way that I could just put it all on and have a couple of buttons, so she didn't have to be on set and help me figure out how to put things on. Calico, our makeup artist, was great. She figured out how to just like kind of do my makeup and put gold leaf foil all over the place so that it could be easily reapplied. And it was just, yeah, it was great. It was also great to get to be creative after being cooped up inside for so long. So the challenges and the constraints that the pandemic afforded actually made it a lot more of a fun problem solving experiment.
Sure. How important has music been then during that period to be able to be creative, to be able to write new music, to be able to explore personal things, but also whatever else is going on in your head during this time?
Oh my God, it's like the only thing that's kept me sane. Like everything is so, I was like, I'll never take for granted another party that starts at 10 p.m. ever again. Yeah, it's just been so isolating and lonely, and I live by myself. And so getting to be creative, getting to, at least my best friend lives like right next door, so I do hang out with her. But
Yeah.
getting to be creative has been the only sort of reprieve from doom scrolling or looking at the news.
Yeah, and be able to be out there though for people that follow you and all the many people that kind of cling on your every word and love what you say and what you do. How helpful has that been, knowing you have that audience and people you can bounce things off of and follow during the last few months?
I mean, it's been lovely. It's given me a sense of purpose. Acting and everything dealing with that primary world that I'm in has all been on hold. I was supposed to go on tour before the pandemic, so I
Yeah.
think we've all been collectively mourning the loss of whatever it is that the pandemic has sort of halted. You know, whether it's losing a loved one or feeling like you're completely disconnected from any sense of purpose. It's insurmountable. But it's been really nice to have an outlet and people who appreciate that outlet, I guess you could say.
Yeah, yeah, and talk about the songs on this EP and these great songs and where these songs came from in you, if you can kind of unify them, and or if they're all separate statements, if you can put into words what this EP is about.
Yeah, so my first album was inspired by surprise, heartbreak. Said no musician ever, right? But this next album, this EP, I apologize, is actually about moving on. Like the moment you see that person who broke your heart and you honestly don't feel any hurt anymore. I wrote one of the singles called I Feel Nothing prior to having had this feeling, but knowing that I was slowly on my way to moving on. And so the whole collection of it is just sort of about empowerment, about being after a phase of where you're finally done really hurting and you can pick back the pieces of your life together again and just go out and take a chance.
How have you been able to be so resilient in your life? You've been through a lot, and a lot of that is surfaced in your art. Where does that come from in you, that ability to kind of rise up and get through that through your art and through what you do?
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate the compliment. I would say my mom. My mom was always someone who, when I was really young, she told me, you know, whenever you're in pain or you're upset, you can turn that into something. You can turn that into something either tangible, like a piece of art. My mom was a huge artist. She did a lot of crochet and painting and clay and molding. And she really, I think, imparted onto me that you can transfer your feelings into your art and help other people with that. And so I feel like anytime I've had something terrible happen in my life, like my sister's suicide or a horrific breakup or this pandemic, I've been able to really just turn to my art and put all my feelings into it to kind of relieve my emotional burden.
And how great is it? I'm sure people come to you all the time saying they found the same, if either in your art as a therapy, or they've taken up something on their own and found that similar kind of solve. What does that mean to you as an artist to be able to have that ability?
I mean, is everything. Like, is an artist anything without an audience? I mean, to some degree, yes. I don't want to be like reliant on external criticism or anything, but it's just really wonderful that anyone would care, or if anyone feels seen by something that I've made, or if sometimes people go, "Oh, this short you made or this song you made like spoke to this moment in my life or helped me through this moment in my life." And I've had songs that have done that for me, and so it's so surreal when you realize that you've done that for someone you've never even met.
And you're still relatively young and you've already explored so many different mediums and so many different types of emotions have come out in your work and in your art. Talk about just being able to balance that light and the dark and be able to do all that well, because not everybody can. You could have a very emotional song and put it all out there, and you could do something very real but also very funny for as well, and then also play a character. You can do it all on there's so many sides to that. So what's that like for you, and how easy is that? How organic is that?
I think it's pretty organic. I tend to get not like bored, but I tend to be very exploratory and playful and curious. So if I do the same thing for too long, I just kind of go a little insane. And then I don't know. My dad was also military, so on one hand, I had the mom who was the artist, and then I had the militant father who would make us wake up at 5 a.m. and stick to a schedule and do chores. And so I feel like I got the best of both worlds, where I was an artist, but I also really knew how to work hard and have work ethic and apply myself. And my parents, always told me, you have to be a well-rounded human being. You have to try a bunch of different things. Nothing, no activity you do is necessarily a waste because it's informing all the other areas of your life. And so they they forced me and my siblings to be in like one sport, and you had to play one instrument, and then you had to have like a certain amount of time that you would spend alone so you could work on your hobbies and discover yourself. And so I do attribute a lot of who I am as a human being to the upbringing they gave me.
That sounds good, as it should be. And talk about putting out new music. What's it like putting that out there for everyone and releasing that, and something that's so personal then becoming public? Is it an easy process for you? Do you enjoy the feedback then?
I hate everything I put out the moment I put it out, and every musician says that if you don't hate your work as you're putting out, you're doing it wrong. Because it just feels so old. I'm like, oh, I'm already working on album number 3. This feels like old and dated, and I hate it. I still like it, of course. I'm very proud of it, and I'm excited to share it with the world. But you get to a point where you feel so far removed from the emotions that you had when you were writing that it's like, oh, get it over there. That's my past. I'm cringing.
Yeah, yeah. Then how busy are you with what's next and with the next songs, the next music?
Oh, I'm very excited. I've got the second album on the horizon. We're shooting music videos. Maggie Levin is our director. She's also a screenwriter who's penning the new Labyrinth sequel. And we have a killer cowgirl video in the works, so I'm very excited.
Awesome. Very good. And what else do you have on hold, on tap for 2021 in terms of other projects and other things? I could see you branching out into a million other new things as well, I'm sure. So what is exciting to come?
Well, hopefully we'll get all vaccinated so I can go back on tour. That would be
Yeah.
lovely. And but other than that, everything's kind of on hold till the vaccine. I'm in a show called Jupiter's Legacy that's supposed to drop, I believe, in March or April of this year, that I'm very excited about. It's Mark Millar's comic book. He did like Kingsman and Kick-Ass, and
Fun, yeah.
yeah, he's awesome. So I'm very excited for that Netflix show to drop and to have something new to binge.
Very good. And how are you excited about getting back on stage, though? That's something you're hopefully by summer or fall that's going to be on
Yeah,
the horizon.
yeah, I hope so. I love performing. I miss it. It'd be nice to just, get out of your house and see other people.
Yeah, well, you at least have that outlet where you've been able to put yourself out there and you get feedback. I talked to a lot of musicians throughout the year where they've kind of had to figure that out and do their stage at concerts, and it's all been new to them, and they've made it work, but it's been a tough, really tough year. And you
Yeah.
at least came into this with, practice and intelligence in that realm.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, it's been nice to have different outlets, but man, doing a show on Instagram Live is completely unsatisfying.
Not the same, yeah.
Thank you for watching. If you want more extra, hit the subscribe button and the bell so you'll never miss a video.